All right, opening face-off against quote-unquote Ninja Pandas. I say that because, well, the Ninja Pandas, majority of their team is not here because they're off at a tournament. But a win, and nothing was clean there. All right, couple comments first of all, and I've noticed it with a few people. Notice how we win and then Justin bumps it off to Justin and then Justin back to Hilsden. Now we ignore that the place, like the pass placement, is a little off, like forcing Hilsden to turn around and pick it up. Let's ignore that. And let's rewind it to here. So notice how Justin bumps it off. We'll focus on here, Justin. He bumps it off and then he just turns away and then up, and then only now he realizes, oh wait a second, the play is all the way back in the defensive zone. I should head back, right? And that's a lot of us make that mistake. And what the mistake is, we bump it, then we turn around as if we don't have this expectation that this puck could ever get back to us. And we just kind of skate off to somewhere. And number one, if we can, it would be more ideal to pivot backwards and open up, and then that way you can see the ice and how the play is developing, and then you kind of skate to where you can go. Number two, so let's say if it was like bump back, pass across really cleanly to Hilsden, then you could expect a puck right at the boards and then you're ready to go up the races, right? Number two, if you're gonna do that, my opinion would be if you only know how to forward skate, then my suggestion would be go in a route that you can see the play. So that's gonna need to, like, because you can't backward skate, you need to forward skate and be able to see the puck. So the only way you're gonna be able to do that is you're gonna skate almost sideways and then towards the play, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's just all you're going to have to be able to do. So it's going to be a more conservative in nature, and then if a pack comes up, then you can turn up the ice. That's really going to be the only way you can do that if you can only forward skate. So that's one comment there. And then here it's kind of, I think this is just unfortunate. If maybe if Sarah was left-handed, that might have been able to, but you can see kind of awkward, really fast pass, and it's just kind of in between the legs, and then it's going to be too far ahead for Dave. So unfortunate turnover. I guess if Hilsden was able to dial down the speed of it, that would be the only thing that that could make it receivable, I guess. But let's continue. Again, a little pass behind, but that's fine. Pass up front, bump out to the middle. Yeah, that's twice that didn't work out so well. Could we have done anything better? So pass up, you can see how Justin's skating towards, and we've said that's really going to be one of the only ways to do that if you can't backward skate. But yeah, that blind chip behind, so it gets intercepted again. Let's see what here, bump out, but too far behind. So another, maybe if you're able to hold on to it. I think more and more now is we're getting punished with blind passes, myself included, where at this level we need to build better habits of, you can't just blindly toss area passes anymore like we can in the VHL and abuse bad positioning by the other teams. The teams are better, and so we gotta be also better, and now we gotta drill it in our head that our opponents are smarter and they're gonna be better positioned. And just because you see a player streaking up, does not necessarily mean they're going to be free. And so I guess one, we should probably be better with our blind passes. And then number two, this one, if you're able to settle it down more, maybe this would have fed Sarah like a little stick handle and get a really good tape to tape. Maybe. Yeah, it got a little messy. Let's continue. Let's see. Drill that a little bit. All right, a little dump down, making us tired. So now skating up. So here's another one. So yeah, the moment you see crossover, right, with Justin, that's the cue for our forwards to start hustling. That's like the mark of start getting skating. So those crossovers, and that's really, we gotta start getting a little bit of speed coming up, and then Sarah's already building her speed up. So a little flat-footed here on Justin. Should definitely have been starting skating a little earlier there. So no zone entries yet. A little messy on the first shift. Oh gosh. Ay. Finally, we're in the zone. Shut down. Also a pretty ugly pass. What was I trying to do there? Yeah, timed it wrong. So we got a line change. Let's see what we can. And get our first whistle. First zone entry, not pretty messy for shift, but you know, some general comments there. Otherwise, I mean, no goals against, so can't complain too much. All right, this is a little bit of a yikes right here by our D-man. Oh, what a pinch. Oh my God, got caught flat-footed. So we got a little back pressure, comes in for a pinch. Not a really good choice of a pinch right there. And now Ernest is caught on Lonely Island. Cuts across, and then this player and this player can just be covered up by all the backup since Liam got caught. And we should be fine and dandy. So a little mistake, a little tiny mistake by Fionn there as the center. Doesn't quite match up with this player, and so shot on net, and then we can almost get a rebound, but Cliff was able to gobble it up, and it's okay. So those mistakes did not result in a goal. Now, rewinding a little bit, my opinion on pinches are the only time a pinch is gonna work out in general is if, let's say, a puck is coming up and not necessarily a player, and the person that's picking up the puck, so it's usually going to be a winger and the D, if you're gonna time yourself to match up at where the puck is going to be and that player is going to touch it at the same time or beforehand, then a pinch is going to be good. Now, when is a pinch generally not going to be good is if a player is carrying the puck up. Now we can rewind this, and if we're talking about full body contact, you could pinch up on a player that has a puck if there's sufficient back pressure angling them towards the boards, and you come in and Cronwall their asses onto the ice, but we're not playing full contact hockey. So generally it's going to be tough for you to pinch and attack them because it can just go inside out or outside in. or a little chip past, because they have firm control, it's just going to be tough, and then you're going to be kind of caught. So yes. All right, face off. Little win to the slot. Well, win or loss. We'll call it a win because Liam got control of it. One other thing I want to point out, and I like, is something I've mentioned in the past, probably for Greenhorns chat, is if a defenseman is carrying the puck and going on the attack, I generally advise or recommend that all the forwards also join in on the rush. So it's going to be 4 players on the attack, and rather than one person staying back. Now once you get in the zone, so if, like, let's say Liam goes all the way like behind the net, then one of the forwards will stick back and cover for him, but not until we get in the zone. And generally it's going to be fine in the neutral zone, so long that also the D partner does not start zooming into the zone and then no one's staying back to defend. As long as we have one person back there, it's going to be generally okay. So at this point, once we join the rush, we would generally want to say, hey, one person rush up to the net, someone can get into a support position, depending on kind of where Liam's positioned. So whether that's kind of get into the half wall or something in the high slot, it's going to be kind of fine. So how it boils down to would maybe something like this, and then the trailer comes in on the high slot, so we get a little bit of a triangle and lots of places for Liam to pass to, or he can also come down into the zone and then this player just comes in behind. That's all fine. So that's one comment there. Pass across, couldn't quite hit Fee. Let's take a look again. How close was that? Big lob. Yeah, actually not a bad chance right there. And then, ooh! Banana peel in the corner. Ouch. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Puck's underneath there. And it was all good. The guy just boops it away and gives it back to us. Let's see how this continuation unfolds. Right here, Liam goes for the pinch. Actually, he's quite aggressive as it stands right there. We've kind of said you're allowed to do that on that weak side. If you ever see like puck behind the net and the D partner has decided to zoom up there, Ernest or any other D can also consider just kind of backing up into the middle, and this way you're got a little bit of room to operate with in case someone comes out on the breakaway or something like that. Right here, so Liam has pinched up, right? He's way in the zone. We should probably see one of the forwards coming back to cover for him. Maybe. So yeah, we're okay there. Let's just leave it there. Here is an example of what I said, where ideally, if you can, pivot backwards and skate backwards, exactly how Sarah does it right here. So then you can scan the ice down where the play is actually happening, where Justin has it. And so build up speed, boom, big stretch pass, and now you can receive it on the stride, right? For example, not too much backward skating required to do that. Let's go watch it again. Pivot, maybe one crossover. If you don't have to be able to do that. If you can just open up and do kind of like a T push after you pivot, that's perfectly fine too. Don't need a backward skate all the way. So that's an example for I guess when we're using Justin as an example on first shift. But otherwise, if you can't, like I said, you're gonna have to skate towards a play, and then from there receive and then come up. Because otherwise, if you're forward skating and you're only facing this way, very hard to receive a pass. But otherwise, pretty crazy stretch pass right there, right on the tape, and Sarah was able to handle it. All right, let's continue. So she's getting shut down along the boards right there. We've kind of said before, if we see our teammate with our backs turned and they're facing the boards with pressure on them, we need to do our best to get into open positions, probably usually along the wall, because, well, it's going to be hard for them to pass you the puck if you're just standing in the slot while they're getting absolutely hounded defensively. So right here you can see Dave does a good job getting open. Now it's a little close. I think if he was able to generate a little bit more space being over here, maybe better. But you can see how Sarah's already become a complete magnet, pulled a bunch of players towards her, and so able to give Dave that pass. I think a little small mistake right there, sending it back down at that moment. So if he was able to gather it and then bring it over here as in getting higher up on the ice, so a little bit higher, he's just kind of at that corner of the circle. If he's able to bring it to almost the hash marks, right, bringing players this way and bringing the players this way, becoming the magnet again, and then sending it back down. So you sent it down low a little bit early is what my opinion is. And early as in you just got the puck and you're getting a little bit of pressure. Got this fucking cough. And so the moment you sent that down, you haven't really bought enough time for the players to get away from Sarah. And so if they're standing there already and you're just sending it back down, yeah, you haven't really done. Now she's kind of back to square one where all these defensive pressure is going to get back on her. So that's one of the general comments first. And then again, here's that kind of mistake where Dave Eng moved a little too early away from helping out, moved to here before they're kind of ready, and so compounded by that, because Dave kind of sent it too early, she feels like, oh, I gotta reverse it back across and nobody's gonna be there. Yeah, so we have a makings of a cycle that could work out. Like, the only thing I think we would adjust here is Dave gets a little bit more room, skates it up a bit, right? Sell that maybe a pass to Hilson could be possible, and then you're drawing people towards you, and then you can send it down low, and then maybe Sarah could come up, and then Dave Eng comes in behind, and then Dave comes out this way. Then we have some makings, and we're really just going to be trying to pull people, all those defenders, away from the slot, and then we can start to generate chances that way. Otherwise, let's continue watching here. A little turnover, sends it across, back in the corner, keeps it in the zone, still in the zone. Ooh, that was an ugly drop. I did not like that one. Why? Fuck this cough, man. Alright, why do I not like that? Why am I going so, like, saying this with such disgust? Is the speed of Dave is no indication that you're cutting to the middle. And so these players have no, like, they don't need to respect you. So if like Dave's coming up and skating this way and then he drops it back, then he can probably bring 1 player, 2 players with him. But because he just does that and then skates back, it's pretty easy for them to kind of read and put pressure on the D-man, is my only comment. And then there's only one choice, and that choice is send it back down low. So if Dave perhaps did this, skates towards it, like boom, boom, a couple crossovers, skates towards the middle, drops it, opens up so that he so pivot forwards, and then Chinelli could consider passing it back to you, and now you're in the high slot for a shot. That's a possibility. So you gotta kind of skate with purpose. So that's kind of why I'm saying that with such disgust there, and then it kind of results in a turnover. So yeah, all right, defensive draw, the breakout, not good. Let's kind of watch it through, and then I'll break it down bit by bit. What could be better, in my opinion, why it wasn't so clean, and then we do eventually get it out. So yeah, I think, and then we eventually get it out here. So yeah, let's kind of rewind on the face off. So face off right here, chip it back in the corner. That's that's fine. That's perfectly fine. At this point, probably if you need, like Ernest, if you need to settle it down behind the net, that's fine as well. And then kind of Liam can get into the other side, and we'll settle it down and get a controlled breakout. Don't need to rush it at this moment. However, key points, very, very important key points, are the center. Right now, she's really blown the zone early, playing it more like a winger more than a center, and is really, really important to facilitate any kind of breakout passes, giving the options for the D. So still kind of way up here. And at this point, like, maybe it's not so important for this play because it did get a little messy. Ideally, what we probably would have wanted to see is Fionn cuts across, touches up on that crease, and then starts building up speed through the middle. It's a little traffic jammed at the moment, but ultimately your job is to help out Ernest in any breakout passes through that middle. So it gets a little sloppy there. That's fine. More egregious, like the problem was when we get it reset back down to Ernest and Liam down here, is right when that pass went down, our centerman should definitely have been coming back down the middle, even getting down as close to touching that crease, and then coming back up through the middle like this. It's super, super important. We need to give Liam and Ernest all those options in that middle to get it out. Now, this entire time, you're where our center is right up by the blue line, right? And that's a problem because it's a really long pass, and that invites pizza zone, right? Good old pizza slice. Anyone can come in and intercept. And on top of that, you have so many defenders around her that even if she gets the pass up there, gonna get surrounded so quickly. So most importantly, right here, if Fionn was right here, right, curling across, easy pass for Liam, right? Night and day, any day of the week, chip pass, boom, she has options to the wingers, and we're ready to go, right? So that's got a little messy. We're able to settle it down, go back behind. Now, as a winger, I've come down and settled it down and decided to bring it behind the net. And Liam has decided to swap up with me. and he does a pretty good job fulfilling what a winger should do. Now, on breakouts, typically for greenhorns, I would have said I like wingers nice and wide on the wings, and then the center coming up through the middle. Alternatively, we can, as we swing across this way, weak side winger, the puck. So weak side again, a little recap, slice that ice in half where the puck is. So puck is on the right hand side, weak side, left side winger. Instead of staying wide, they can opt to swing across high like this. So if the centerman is coming up like that, the weak side winger is coming across, and the forward's coming across like that, gives a lot of options this way. You are overloading the side of the ice, but sometimes things open up that way, and it's going to kind of be discretion of the weak side winger on how they want to do it. Like they could opt to come up like this and behind the D. That could also be an option. You can sweep in front. That's an option. So that's something for wingers to consider. But let's rewind it a little bit more. At this point, if Fionn is coming down, almost touching that crease, and then coming up speed through the middle, that's where we would probably want to see the center. So she kind of does that, just a little bit step behind. If maybe a little bit lower, and then like this would probably have let's see, being better. So yeah, she's just a little bit slight step behind. So right here, maybe if she was here, so a little bit more like that, and then as when I get here to here would be her crossing across, would give more options. And then she's zooming up like this in front of this player, little lead pass there, ready to go, right? So those are the adjustments for the center, and Liam actually demonstrates perfectly what a winger can do on the weak side wing. Gives a nice open pass option, and then from there weave back out on the outside is an open option. Boom, demonstrates it perfectly. So yeah, not so great on that breakout there, but we get it done eventually. All right, actually right in the zone. So we've said he's on that half wall, and one person can occupy kind of the front of the net. I don't know if we need two. Justin could come up here. We like the magic spot. You can see how this area completely open. And then back door, not my favorite for Fionn. So, but you know, sometimes it is open. I think at this point, once Liam's getting a lot of pressure over here, maybe my preference, just because it's kind of a nice pass to get there, and being her position right here, she can kind of skate out and start jamming in the 5-hole, or pass up to the magic spot and then a shot back down low are options. Eventually, let's see what happens. Tries to feed it on the back door, and this is actually a perfect example of why I don't like the back door as much, is because the goalie can, we often forget it's not just the players that can block the pass, there is also the goalie. And with the back door, because the pass has to kind of cross through the crease, if they're smart, boop, paddle work, rebound right into the slot. Perfect example. That explains everything for me. That's kind of why I don't like the back door, because the goalie's not stupid. They're not a statue. They're going to be active with the stick, and anything across the crease, out, right? Boom, perfect demonstration. I thought this one was pretty funny. So this guy is just ambling down so slowly, you'd think it's a defenseman. But then only you realize, holy shit, this is the defenseman, and that's the lefty. That all of a sudden, wait a second, I'm not covering that guy, and I gotta hustle over there. And then this guy's still just la-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. Coming back out of the zone, my goodness. Dude, like the rate of skating speed you'd think it would be a defenseman. It's not. Like what is that? Complete confusion. Holy smokes. Alright, so first goal against. Let's just watch it, then we'll kinda roast who we need to roast. Oh no, ugly, 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 ugly. Alright, so rewind. Let's see what's happening here. Coming in on the attack, and then okay, what happened there? Pass up, bonks the guy's skate, and then Hilsden misses it. Oh no, Sarah's going off for a change as a center. Alright, so they're coming in. Dave is now covering this player, and Hilsden's covering this player. Okay, should be fine. There's a trailer coming in. I guess there's no center, so I guess there's a hole there, but I guess Dave is kind of playing as the center. So coming up this player, so I think Justin would probably want to cover this player, and then Hilsden would come up to play that. We could have the winger coming, we're putting pressure on the slot, but usually I don't like to leave the defense open, but you know, when pucks start going towards the net, we gotta start getting over there. Alright, so we don't have anyone covering the big boy in front of the net. Bonks it, and Cliff kinda has it, but he's so big and strong that I guess he just kinda knocks it out of Cliff's, or didn't quite. You can see how his glove's not fully over it, and so it's loose, and then he bonks it over and Cliff loses his glove. That's a goal against, so it got messy. We don't have a center. Our defenseman Hilsden missed the clear out. Right, we got the clear out that missed. His D partner is not on the screen, but now he's on the screen. But then he's off in the corner, maybe having a chat with the Zamboni driver. Aye, and then the puck's in the back of the net. So first goal against. Alright, this one, I think one of Ernest's a little bit of a weakness at the moment is you get crossed up a lot, and it's just something to probably work out. So the pivot is excellent and all that, but I think getting caught with a lot of forward skating, I guess, would be maybe the best way to describe it. So pass up, switches, forward skates, right? And he changes direction, so he has to pivot and then forward skate again. So maybe it's too aggressive with the lunging, rather than just doing a passive backward skating and then poke checking that way. So think more contain rather than always kind of attacking the puck. And if you contain, then you won't get crossed up like this. So we saw how Ernest went from this way, switched back to this way, then back to this way. So it's getting crossed up a lot. We can rewind that one more time. I'm not doing it to pick on him, but see, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, and then back the other way. Whereas if he can just do a consistent backwards and then kind of contain, keep him on the outside, it'll probably be easier like less energy that he has to spend switching back and forth, and it's kind of less risk of getting crossed up. But the next funny part was Fiona just comes in, and her presence was so intimidating that the guy just falls down on his own. Wow. Now the next best part is a little bit later on, but let's kind of watch this. I think right here, little chip to Ernest comes across would be perfectly fine, except a little bit too much forest right there and behind, and we're out of the zone, so unfortunate. Sarah comes zooming in, and this part is great. She falls down, boom! She has no chill, just hops back up and starts digging away at it. Oh, it's great. I love it. And then hucks it back down low. Alright, I wanted to go over something. Wow, okay. First one's pretty funny how Liam is always on the attack. We got our ultimate offensive defenseman. Not even a defenseman. We can even call him a little dwinger. A false defenseman, but really more like a winger. Anyways, what I wanted to point out was this play we haven't done in a while, but we've talked about it in the past, is we're coming up on opposite wings, and we can see getting closed off, players are coming in, right? They're all coming towards this way to close us off, and we can see an opposite winger is coming in with speed, or we should be coming in with speed. So an option, do a hard rim, just send it down, and the expectation is it's going to come back all the way on the other side. Now if Alex is coming in fast enough, which we would hope he is he would beat this defenseman who has to pivot backwards and get it, and he can gather that puck up and then do whatever he wants to go to the net, go behind the net, stop up, anything he wants to do. So fortunately, we know Alex can skate faster than that, and so he's a little bit late to it, but still kind of was able to put a challenge on it. But we would have ideally liked to see him skate faster. But that's something we have talked about as an option if we don't have a good way to enter the zone and get it to the other side. There's two ways. We can do the hard rim, right? We send it down low and it'll go around the rink like that, or a little bit of a lob pass into the corner, and then hopefully this winger who's skating in fast, hopefully, will be able to pick it up. Our dwinger continues. Liam's all the way out there. Ernest out on Lonely Island on the back end. Whoa! Where's our lefty is shown up way up on the opponent's blue line, joining in on the attack. Oh man. Still up there. Putting some back pressure on. Oh my god, they got a chance. Sneaks through the crease. Things are getting discombobulated. Positions. What positions? Whoa, our defensive winger going on the attack once again. And round 2 on our defensive wingers. I just noticed, so Liam swaps for Justin all the way up there. So going on the attack. And I guess I wouldn't have expected to see him at the opposite blue line, but definitely if I did, we could have done a big stretch pass up there. Send it across. And I think I was expecting a shot, and I think we had a good chance for a tip there, maybe a bit close to the goalie. I remember getting a piece on it, and it went kind of like that. but nevertheless, I thought that was pretty funny. So this one was great. Justin comes in, slick move, backhand pass to Alex, falls down. And then it somehow lands on Fee's stick, falls down. Got too many banana peels in the slot. Let's watch this one more time. Boom, backhand pass. Here comes a shot. Boom, falls down. On the stick, fans on it. Tries to gather it up, falls down. Too good, too good. Is there more offensive chances here? No, not even forecheck pressure. What is this? Ooh. Too passive on Dave. Our forwards are going for a change, and he just gets to skate into the zone. Really? Well, that's unfortunate. This one was great. So pass up to Dave. He couldn't quite handle it. Justin's zooming in, rips it. And remember, let me see if I can crank this volume up and hear any of it. Oh, the sound's not working. All right, we'll mute it. He was like, "Fuck! God damn it, Justin! What are you doing? Aiming for the corner. I fucking hit him in the chest. What the fuck, Justin?" It was great. It was great listening to that on the bench. And then Fee turns around and is like, "What is he getting angry about?" And I said it's because he hit him in the chest. Here comes another episode of Who is Our Lefty? Starts off with Liam. He pinches down, brings it in the zone, stays down there. Now he's in the left-hand corner. And now David Eng is up there. Passes it up to Ernest. Sarah with the interception. She's coming back into the zone. Drop pass to Liam. And back out of the zone. But we still got possession. Passing it up. Liam goes back into the zone. Sarah intercepts. See, now he's in the corner. Who's our lefty now? It's Sarah. Pass it across. Shot on net. Tip chance. Liam's in the corner. Almost banged home a rebound. Now it's Ernest as our lefty. Got some puck moving in the corner. Back and forth. Passes it out front and out of the zone. And that concludes the episode of Who is Our Lefty? Alright, I think right here I want to do, it's a good clip on a recap of forechecking and why we weren't really effective here and how we could be more effective. So we've kind of talked in the past before about right here is we're trying to funnel them towards a side of the ice. In this case, probably this side of the ice, and if we can funnel them behind the net. So we kind of do a good job doing that. We've cut off, so if he cuts off the boards, Justin's on pressure and then he's forced to send it across. That's perfect. That's good so far. And then this allows me to come in and put pressure on this player, and we're trying to cut him off back to where our forwards are. So if our trap is set on that right hand side, we're trying to funnel them back over, right? We're really trying to set that cage up here. And the mistake begins here. So we put a little pressure. We don't want him to escape out this way. And then Fee can just close off that middle so he can't come up. And we're trying to make it really awkward. Normally a player does not want to cut across the crease like that. And all Justin needs to do is continue behind the net and cut him off, right? And here is the mistake. He comes out in front of the net, and so that gives him an opportunity to scoot back behind the net. So that's mistake number one. We've lost all that pressure. And then number two is now we have two players putting pressure on him, versus we should have had V cutting off to cut off the boards and then come in. I'll come in to close off the middle, and then Justin is putting pressure onto him, right? And that sets up the trap. And unfortunately, we've given him too much space. Bonks out, and then that's an icing. So we do force an icing, but we weren't able to force a turnover, and that's kind of a couple of mistakes right there on the forecheck. So I thought this was hilarious. So we see Kevin gets the puck, and weak side winger, I see open space, right? To blow the zone. Their D-man has pinched, so all I need to do is beat this player. And if he has a lead pass, we're off the races on a breakaway. Fortunately, it bonks Fee in the leg. And you hear Kevin's like, Fee! And it results in a shot in the slot. Oh man, that was unfortunate bounce. Now, we briefly talked about the center being really important on the breakout, and ignoring that, it's better. Like, Fee's in a better position than what we talked about earlier with the example before. She was like way up on the blue line, and our preference would have been down here, nice and low and slow, touching that crease and then coming up through the middle. And my first comments are, Kev gets the puck right here, and she's a bit ahead, right? And her body positioning, it's in a tough position to receive that pass. Her like, it's more of her butt showing to Hilsden rather than her, I guess, body. So, versus if, let's freeze frame right here. If she was about here, or preferably if he even cuts in front, or just slightly ahead to like here, where maybe the face-off dot is, easy pass, right? So I would say a little bit ahead, versus if we can just like squirt yourself this way with a stick here, easy pass. And then if need to, like, that would also not be in the way, but that's like kind of secondary. It's more what is her body positioning allows her to be in a better passing spot for Hilsden, and just being slightly behind. So yeah, it's just a bit too ahead of the play right there, and then it'd be tough to get that pass to you, even if it wasn't this like big stretch pass attempt. All right, this is like the three forwards are complete antonyms of each other. It's great, it's fun to watch. So Sarah is like, I don't know, an animal that hasn't eaten for weeks and is just out on the hunt, hustling down there, putting pressure on this player. And unfortunately, this guy cuts through the middle, which should be fine if a player is out in the middle, closing off that gap and putting immediate pressure onto them, which should have been Justin. However, Justin's kind of like a crocodile in waiting, just staying still, kind of like that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you stand so still, I'll be invisible. And then, oh, comes out, tries to attack, bite, oh, couldn't quite do it. So I would say the positioning would have maybe helped a little bit, maybe to the left, but also some movement, a little too still. A little tempted to say it's kind of like a pylon. I don't want to say that, but gotta get some movement on the legs, I guess. And then the third forward is just so conservative. He's not even in the picture for forechecking. He's out. He's the National Geographic photographer out there spying in on our crocodile and the hungry wolf. not even in the picture on the forecheck. So We got the three antonyms out there on forward. Of course, we gotta include some banana peels. This time it's Sarah. Woo! Got the whole pirouette on the ice. I thought, here comes a play right here. Pass up to Dave. And he's ready to shoot it, but loses it. Unfortunate, hits the netting and out. Somehow, I thought this was going to get poked off for sure. It's going so slowly. This guy's reaching in to poke check, and somehow he comes out with it. All luck, but I will just pretend it's 100% skill. Totally meant to do that. Yeah, made him bite and made a fool of it himself. We got a yikes attack coming up right here. This player gets around Hillsden, gets around Dave. But notice there is no lefty over here. Sends cross crease, tap in. Oh, big save by Cliff, or they missed the net. I can't tell. We get a pizza pass. A little pepperoni slice right here. Hey! Oh my god, a rebound. Oh my goodness. So we got a player suspiciously missing here. Suspiciously missing on the screen completely. Oh, there he is. Alright, small comment here is notice a pass, a little sauce or a chip pass coming in, and it's going to end up right around here. And it, yes, for sure, it looks like Hillsden is skating towards it, but at some point our winger also needs to identify that they should be heading out towards it. It's a different story if the puck ends up being here and Hillsden walks into it. The story is completely different if it's going so deep into the corner like that. And that, like, you can see how we should be identifying it should be the winger coming out to it. Oh, you know what? This is a picture. Picture perfect framing too. Get it, just that. That's probably the words coming out of Hillsden's mouth. Come on, go get it. Right here. Free stream. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go get it. So it's a little deep, right? On one hand, it does look like Hillsden's going towards it, but it's just how deep it goes into the zone. You got to realize that defensemen, they're not going to go for it. It should be the winger's job. It's a different story if it's like here, but it's not there, right? It's in the corner. You're not going to expect a D-man to go that deep. Typically speaking, especially if we're down, we're inviting trouble doing that. So need some hustle. Alright, so we got a sequence leading up here that results in our goal 4. So Sarah has the puck behind the net. I think ideally Liam over here in the corner to give her options here and here, or she can just drop it and have Liam pick it up, and then she'll fill it in that center role where we can have 3 forwards wide breaking out of the zone. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a clean pass to Ernest, and they send it back down low. I was expecting the D to pick it up, but I remember Liam's like, it's yours, so go down to pick it up. And here is kind of, I guess, one example of where I said you sometimes need to play, like, skate towards the play as a forward if you're not backward skating. And I know in this case it's not really getting a pass, we're just picking a puck off the boards, but it kind of goes to show that even skating towards our own side, you're still kind of maintaining some speed, so you can always kind of turn back around and then skate up the ice. without too much trouble. So that's something we can all remember. We don't always have to be skating like facing up the ice, which makes life so much harder to get the pass. If you can't pivot backwards, then skating towards the play is often works out. So puck goes in. If anyone didn't see it, it was pretty funky. It kind of like rolled and then bonk, hopped and turned into the net. It was pretty spectacular. I'll take it any day of the week. But really interesting goal. Actually, I don't think it was that dramatic, but it definitely hopped. It was kind of going like this and then boop, hopped over his pad. So a little lucky, but we'll take it. Now it's a 1-1 tie. All right, last like 30 seconds. Hilson's on the rush. Suspiciously slow on our forwards to join him on the attack. Let's rewind again. He's hustling. Boom, 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 right? But holy smokes, we got cement bricks in our forward skates. And now 10 seconds left. We generally are probably going to want to stick a couple more bodies towards the net. It kind of depends. So first explanation is if he has a lot of pressure, then yeah, help him out, get him on these to move, at least shuffle the puck across, and then you can start funneling pucks towards the net. Now in this case, he's not having a lot of pressure on him, right? On that first instant, now no pressure, so start hunting towards the net, and then we could have one, maybe two players staying a little bit higher in the zone. So like I think Fion is fine, and then Eng probably want to get towards the net, just so you get a couple different looks. You're not everything has to go towards the net. We have time, we got 15 seconds left, so pass out here and then a shot out high, it gets a good chance, and then two players in front of the net for rebounds. 3 gets a little crazy, but yeah, not quite ready for that, unfortunately. Definitely needed a little bit more effort from everybody to get to the net or in good attacking positions. Not like this. Just compare the effort level. Oh my gosh. My goodness. Just skating in mud out here. And then finally Alex hustles a little bit. Alright, we got a sequence coming up on another goal against. Let's watch it. So forechecking pressure. It actually looked okay here. Trying to carve him out this way, cutting towards the middle, and then Fion will kind of block that way. That's fine. Where's our third forward? I see. Super conservative National Geographic photographer out on the red line. Alright. That's fine. So we got 2 forwards on the forecheck. Should be okay. But eventually they are coming out on the attack. Big stretch pass diagonally. Oh, mixed up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Who's not covering who? Alright, so our center goes for a change. Just like our first goal against. Ernest gets discombobulated. This guy deeks around. Cliff is down and out. Should be fine. Except someone needs to cover 29. Nobody's covering 29. Both of our players are on the right side of the ice. No one's covering number 3. And so Trouble is brewing. Ah. Yikes. Yikes. 2-1. Forechecking pressure. Actually, this is a lot better. So, put pressure in behind him. Close him off the boards. Ideally, we can get one more. So, if Alex is here, and then if he's cutting off like that, it would be better. But let's continue watching. Putting enough pressure that he's kind of, you can see how the cage is closing off right here. And then if Dave's just following him behind him to cut off that boards, would be much more effective. But nonetheless, forces him to chip it back down low. But Alex is able to eat that up. So he was kind of roughly in this position. And so that's pretty effective. And now we've forced a turnover. And it wasn't really like high octane speed or anything, just kind of effective movement. It's kind of same deal right here. Just close off the options and you can force a turnover like that. Nothing really came out of it, but we got a turnover, which is what's important. We got another banana peel coming up. Sarah once again. Oh. So the team's coming back. Oh, not yet. A little bit after this. Here. So they're coming on the attack. Are our wingers tired? They shouldn't be. They just got on the ice. Oh my goodness. Shot on net, and then unfortunate. See, here's the perfect example once again. The turn where the timing, if we can pivot, it would be ideal. But if we can't, then, you know, it's tough. You gotta choose a different route on how to turn. So it'd probably have to be kind of like this. And that's going to allow you to be able to see the ice at all times versus turning this way if you can't pivot. It's just how it is. And then, yeah, you won't miss the puck that way. All right, here we got a questionable play coming up. Questionable, you'll see what I mean in a bit. So Alex sends it out front, misses everybody to the point, and Kev takes a shot from the point, and you know what? It might have gone in. But the goal, well, all that matters is the ref says no, so if he says no, then it's, yeah, it looks in actually. Hard to say on video. It either went in the back, curled around, and then came back out towards the goalie, or it hit the post, like the corner of the post, and came back out. If the ref can't see it, it's not a goal. And so while it may have been a goal, we don't get a goal cam, so we don't get the benefit of technology. Just the two eyeballs on the ref's head. All right, we got about 1:15 left. Goalie pulled. Liam hustling back. Yeah, we got 1:08 left. So let's see. Let's just watch it. Make any comments if we need to, but oh my god, what happened there? Just absolutely fanned on it right in front of the net. Oh my god. Luckily we recover. Alright, we got our powerhouse players out on the ice. Coming to speed. Fakes a shot. Loses it. No. Oh! Just sends it to the point, but there's nobody on the point. Yeah, I guess we've talked about it. It's really important to have one D man holding that blue line along the boards, but at the same time, we've talked about we were making a lot of bad habits of blind passes. Unfortunate. Holy shit, that guy's coming in with speed. It's like the giraffe legs. Boom, 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 boom. Poor Sarah. This guy's barreling down on him. Her. Sorry, but she's able to clear it. Alright. Attack number 2. Oh, offside. Offside. Was it offside? I remember Justin. Oh, it wasn't Justin. It was the other Justin. That's even better. That's so funny. Oh, man. That is so funny. I remember Chinelli getting heated. He's like, that's not an offside. It's bullshit. Giving it to the ref after the game. And we're like, it turns out it wasn't even him. It wasn't even him that was offside. Oh, it was the other Justin Sin that was offside. The tables have turned. That was a good call on the ref. I'll give it to him. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is tough. Yeah, we all thought it was Chinelli that was offside. No, it was not. It was not. Unfortunate. And then he's just jawing it off, lipping away. Is it period over? Oh, no, we got a couple seconds left. Let's go. Let's see what we got. Chips it out. And then, 21 seconds left. Still a lot of time. Here comes Fionn. Chips it up. Anyone able to help her? Couple seconds left. Here it comes. Oh, poked off. Sends it to the middle. Nobody's there. Here comes a rocket shot. No, unfortunate. That is game over. Unfortunate 2-1 loss. Very interesting turn of events there. So now we have found out who was offside. It was a true mystery.